This video is over notes 9.4, topic 2.4, 9.4, over solving systems of equations by using matrices. So the first thing we're going to do is review how we solve the system of equations by graphing. They ask us to use a calculator and sketch the graph. Even if they didn't say these words, because my graph does not have perfect lines, I can see that they're wanting me to do this by hand. Or, I'm sorry, in the calculator, not by hand. For our first equation, we cannot plug into y equals in the calculator until I have y equals, or y by itself. So I need to move 2x to the other side. So for y1, I have a negative 2x minus 8. Same thing for my bottom equation. I cannot plug in until I have y by itself, so I have to solve. Make sure when you are solving, you bring the entire negative 3y down. And then I divide everything by negative 3. So y equals 1/3 x minus 1, and I'm going to put that in y2. To refresh these steps, we click y equals on the calculator up in the top left. In y1, I am entering the equation negative 2x minus 8. So negative 2x minus 8. And in the bottom, I have 1/3, so alpha y equals, enter 1/3 x minus 1. So I have put my equations into y equals as shown. I will click graph. I can see that they are crossing. Because they are crossing, I will need to find that intersection. So I click second, trace, 5, enter, enter, enter until it says the word intersection. If it does not say the word intersection, you need to keep clicking enter. My intersection is at negative 3, negative 2. So that will be my solution. And then for my blank graph, I draw a rough sketch of what I'm seeing on my calculator and make sure that it crosses about the same way. So they're telling us that we can solve the same system of equations by another method, which is using matrices. A matrix is a rectangular arrangement of rows and numbers in rows and columns. The number of rows and the number of columns determine the dimensions of the matrix. It is important to be able to determine the dimensions because that is something you will have to type into your calculator. So the dimensions are rows by column. So rows go across, just like in a stadium, you go down to your row and you sit in rows. So rows go across. So there are 3 rows in the top one. Columns go up and down just like pillars on a building. So this is a 3 by 2. For B, we have 2 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. And C is a 2 by 2. So again, it is always written rows and then columns. You will need that information. These are our steps right here in order to plug in all of our problems using matrices. So first thing is you have to make sure your equations are in standard form. So x and y have to be together. From there, we press second matrix. There's a little matrix button. I'll show you where it is. We scroll to the right, select B, our ref. We want the really rapid equation fixer, not just the rapid one, the really rapid one. We will click alpha zoom, enter 2 rows and 3 columns, input our information using arrows, click enter, and then press enter and it will give us the answer. There are 2 special cases that we have talked about already, and it deals specifically with your bottom row. So if the bottom row has all zeros, it is all reals or infinitely many solutions. If it says 0, 0, and you could do like a, oh no, it means there is no solution. So for the top problem, part 2, both of my equations have x and y with equal signs. So these are in standard form. When I fill out my matrices, and you will need to write these so your teacher knows you're not borrowing the answers from someone else, aka cheating, you write all of the numbers that are given to you exactly like you see them, just without the letters. So for problem 2, we have a 2, a 1, a -8, a 1, a -3, and a +3. So when you put these into your calculator, you will put them in exactly like you see it. 2, 1, -8, 1, -3, and 3. You do need to make sure that when you plug these in, you use negative signs. You will not use minus signs for any of these problems. So what I'm going to do is follow my steps and put this into my calculator. Here are our steps. Right now our calculator is here. So I need to hit second quit to go back. In my calculator, I will click the second button up in the top left. The matrix button is the 4th button down. It says matrix in tiny blue letters. It's an x to the -1. The instructions told us to hit the right arrow 1 time to scroll over to math. And then we will scroll up to B. Not A, but B. We want the really rapid equation fixer. Click enter. So this pops up. In order to enter a matrix, you click the green button, alpha, middle, which is zoom. We have determined that we will always need 2 by 3. So you need to change the bottom one to be a 3, like the 3 needs to be highlighted, and click OK. From here, we enter the matrix that we just plugged in. I'm pulling it up right now. So we hit 2, arrow, 1, arrow, -8, arrow, 1, arrow, -3, arrow, 3, arrow. If you didn't catch, you do need to click arrow, not enter, but arrow between all of these numbers. I click enter, and I want you to look right here. We're going to write this down on our paper so we know exactly what we're doing. So from the calculator, we get this. 1, 0, -3, 0, 1, -2. This piece will always look the same. What we did was we entered our x's, our y's, and our answers. So what this is telling you is that 1x equals -3, 1y equals -2. So 0y or 0x is here. So x equals -3, y equals -2. Wherever you see the value of the 1, whether it's the x in the left column or the y in the right column, tells you where your answer needs to be. So for our solution, we are going to write -3, -2. And that's our answer. So we're going to walk through it again. Remember, in front is an invisible 1. So in front of x here we have a -1, +1, -4, 2, -1, 11. So I am putting the numbers in front without the letters. But remember, my letters line up. My x's are here, my y's are here, my answers are here. Now you don't have to circle all that, but I am going to leave this up so we can see exactly what's happening. If our answer works perfectly, we should have 1, 0, 0, 1, and then our 2 numbers. So let's try this one again. We are following the exact same steps that were at the beginning of the notes, plugging in these matrices. So, for my matrix, To get to the matrix, or to get to the RF part, I click second matrix button. It's the one that says matrix on it. Arrow right, scroll up to B, and click enter. To plug in a matrix, I click alpha zoom. 2 by 3 is already selected, so we can scroll down and click OK. I have 2, 1, -8, 1, -3, and +3. I click enter. Again, I have the 1001, so this is a good solution. My solution just happens to be the same as the first problem. Because I plugged in the wrong one. So sorry. So second matrix, math, B, alpha zoom. So sorry. -1, 1, -4, 2, -1, 11. So for this one, we still have the 1001, which tells me this is a good, solid solution. And then the numbers 7 and 3. So again, the 1x, the 1y, my solution is 7, 3. For this problem, we are writing down the matrix that we use to solve. Again, you don't want your teacher to think you're cheating because you know what you're doing, so do it right. In front, I have a 15, -12, 13, 30, 9, and 4. Again, one thing you always need to watch out for is make sure your x's and y's are aligned. So I'm going to put this one into my calculator as well, following the exact same steps. So second matrix, right arrow, scroll up to B, alpha, zoom, OK. 15, -12, 13, 30, 9, and 4. Again, I have that 1001, so I need to write these down. If you click math, enter, enter, it will turn them into fractions for you, so you don't have to do that in your head. So my answer, 1001, 1/3, -2/3. So my x and my y, x is 1/3, y is -2/3. Problem 5, we're going to write down our matrix, -2, 4, 4, 1, -2, 6. We're plugging this one in just like we did the other ones. So, second matrix, math, really rapid equation fixer. Alpha, zoom, 2 by 3, -2, arrow, 4, arrow, 4, arrow. 1, arrow, -2, arrow, 6, arrow. Now this problem, we are looking for 1001. This does not show that, so we're going to write it down and then go back and look at what that means. So that's why I recommend writing the matrix that you get, that you plug in, as well as the one that you get. Now, the bottom row, if you do not have the 1 and the 0 where it shows, it is a special case. When we come back, if we have all zeros, it's all reals, we have this, which is no solution. What this is saying is that 0 y's equal 1. Well, if you have 0 y's, it shouldn't have a value. So this is no solution because this does not look right. It is not right. Also on the top, this would be 1x and negative 2y's equals 0, which is not possible. So everything's all screwy with that. If you do not get the 1001, then you have a special case. So keep these notes close. And for your assignment, you need to make sure you are following these steps. This is exactly what we did, so make sure you're following these steps to do them on your own.